Hi boys and girls. Today I'm going to go ahead and go over Wednesday's work. We're first starting with some fractions and we're comparing them. Remember when we did this in class, we used the strategy of cross multiplying. You could also draw them out, like draw out 8/10 and draw out 5/10, and see which one's bigger. But we can definitely see that 80 is bigger than 50. So we know 8/10 is greater than 5/10. So what we would do is just put our greater than sign over here. Awesome, the next one, find the product of 7,263 times 27. I'm going to go ahead and use the standard algorithm, remembering we multiply our ones by our ones by our tens, and so forth, to go through and solve this. So here we go. 7 times 3 is 21. I can't fit 21, so I have to regroup. Next, I have 7 times 6, which is 42. 42 plus 2 is 44. Next, I have 7 times 2, which is 14. 14 plus 4 is 18. Next, we have 7 times 7, which is 49, plus 1, which is 50. Remember, when I do this, I have to make sure that 5's small because it's representing the regrouping part. And down in the 10,000s place, I'm going to put a 0 because there's no number in the actual 10,000s place. Then I multiply 7 times 0, which is 0. Plus 5 is 5. Now, we're not done. That's just multiplying our ones place. So now we kill our captain, we drop the bomb, and we sweep the deck. Okay? Now we can multiply our tens place. So 10 times 1, which is really 2 tens. So 2 times 3 is 6. The tens by the tens. 2 times 6 is 12. Regroup. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. 2 times 7 is 14. Regroup. Remember, making it small. 2 times 0 is 0, plus 1 is 1. Notice that I wrote this nice and neat. That sure is a lot of numbers. So if I wasn't neat and organized and lining up my place value, this part could be a little tricky. So make sure you're doing that and you're lining up your place value. It just makes it easier when you get to this part of adding. Cha-cha-cha, slide, 196,101. Awesome. Our next question, how many degrees are in a circle? So when we talk about our circle, we know that 4 right angles make up our circle. So one right angle is 90, 90, 90, and 90. We have to add those all up. 9 times 4 is 36, and add my 0. There's a total of 360 degrees in a circle. All right, guys, so for our next one, I'm going to use a straight edge here to kind of just make them straight. We're comparing fractions, so I want to make sure all of my fractions represent one whole, and the one whole is the same size, so I could really compare them equally. So first I need to show that I have 4 fractions. So this is going to be 4 elevenths. We have 2 elevenths. We have 6 elevenths. And we have 1 11th. And we're looking for the biggest one. So what we're going to do is we're going to break these up into 11 parts. You can do it so when you break up this very first one, you'll just continue those lines all the way down and go ahead and use your straight edge. I'm going to map it out just to kind of see because I don't want to get to the end and then they're really, really small because we know with a fraction they have to be equal. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, oh, see? And we'll make this 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And we're going to need one more, so 11. I got to make them all the same to make sure that they're accurate. So that's why I'm making my lines together. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we're gonna just make our straight lines down. 1, 2, mine aren't really matching up, but geez, I'm way off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh boy, boys and girls. All right, I'm gonna color in 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. The next one is 2. The next one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the last one is 1. So I can easily see by looking at this, although this doesn't look pretty, I could see that 6/11 is definitely the biggest out of all of them. So the greatest fraction, or the one worth the most, is B, 6/11. All right, our next one is finding the quotient, which we know is dividing, of 8,888 divided by 5. Go ahead, list your steps. And then off to the side, you're going to list those first 10 multiples of the number 5, and then come back and check with me. All right, guys, go ahead and take a second to compare your multiples with mine, just to make sure we're correct. And then we're going to start dividing. So we're trying to do 5 into 8, so we're looking for the number 8. I definitely don't see the number 8. Remembering we have to go below it, so the next closest would be 5, and it can go in 1 time. That's dividing. Next, we need to multiply. So 1 times 5 is 5. Then we go ahead and we subtract. 8 minus 5 is 3. Great. Before we bring down, we try to see if we can divide. Can 5 people fit into 3 chairs? No way, Jose. So now we can go ahead and bring down. So we're looking for the number 38, remembering we can't go over 38. So the next one is 35. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. That's me dividing. Next, I'm going to go ahead and multiply. 7 times 5 is 35. And then I can go ahead and subtract. Sorry, I got ahead of myself. 38 minus 35. Again, I'm left with 3. We know we have to, before we bring down, go ahead and look and see if we can divide. 5 into 3. 5 people, 3 chairs. Not pretty. So we're going to go ahead and bring down. Now, we just did this. We had 38, and remember, we did it by 7, so it's going to be the same thing again. When we divide, we get 7. Then we multiply. Same thing that we already did. 7 times 5 is 35. We know when we subtract, we're left with 3. We know we can't divide 5 into 3, so we need to bring down that last 8. And we know 7 can go into it. That's dividing. 7 times 5. 35. I like this problem. And subtract. I'm left with 3. Now, I have nothing left to bring down, and I know 5 people can't fit into 3 chairs. So this is where it becomes my remainder. So your quotient is 1,777, remainder 3. All right, we're moving on here. We're finding the sum. Remember, an addend plus an addend equals a sum. So the sum, we're going to take our 2 addends. Make sure you're lining up those place values. This is a great time to be nice and neat. And we're going to start adding in the ones place. 5 and 0, 5, 7 and 2, 9, 6 and 0, 6, 8 and 2 is 10, 8 and 1 is 9, 4 and 1 is 5. I got a total sum of 590,695. All right, we have two more. Let's keep it moving. We're going to find the difference, which we know is subtracting. We have our minuend minus our subtrahend, and it's going to equal our difference. So I can't have 0 of something and take 9 away, so I need to borrow from that tens place. Now I can borrow and subtract. 10 minus 9 is 1. So when I move to my tens place, I can't have 1 and take 5 away, so I then have to borrow from my hundreds place. 11 minus 5 is 6. I can't have 0 and take 3 away, so I need to borrow again. So now I have 10 minus 3, which is 7. Okay, now I have 0 minus 2. I can't do, so I need to borrow again. 10 minus 2 is 8. 6 minus 0 is 6. Cha, 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 slide. Do you guys remember how we can check our work? Using the inverse operation. So go ahead and turn it into an addition problem, and if you're correct, you should get what we had as our original minuend. Go ahead, pause the video and double check. All right, boys and girls, let's go ahead and do our last one for today, now that you've checked your work for this last problem. All right, it says the area of a square is 25 inches squared. Determine the perimeter of the square. Immediately when I read this problem, I'm a visual person, so I like to draw my square. I know that a square has 4 equal sides. I also know that area is base times height, or length times width, depends whatever you want to do, either one. So for a square, I know that they're going to be the same. The length and the width are going to be the same because all 4 sides are the same. With that being said, I need to kind of see what each side is. So I know if this entire thing is 25, I need to figure out what are 2 things that I can multiply by to get to 25. So something times something equals 25. So I like to kind of skip count and see if I can. It's got to be the same number, so 25, and it's got to be, you know, the same thing that I can multiply by to get to it. So what do you guys think? In my head, I thought of my 5s, like 5 times 5 is 25. So if that's the case, let's see if it's true. 5 times 5 is 25, so that would make sense. Perimeter is side plus side plus side plus side. So that would mean because it's a square, they're all 5. So I would add 5 inches plus 5 inches plus 5 inches plus 5 inches, meaning that my perimeter was a total of 20 inches. All right, guys, well, thanks for following along with me for today. Check in tomorrow. And don't forget, on Friday at 9:30, I'm going to have a Google Meets. I'll send out the link a few minutes before for us to kind of just chat. If you have questions for math, great, we'll go over it. If you just want to tell me what you've been up to, or I just kind of want to see your guys' faces, I miss you. Hope to see you Friday at 9:30.